Hey guys, what is up? Legion of Gaming here, and we are back with another new episode of our Mass Effect Let's Play on Insanity difficulty. Let's jump back into it.
Yes, Commander?
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing, but you're the one who can stop Saren. I believe in you, Shepard. If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
Tell me about you and Saren.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now. Ambassador Goyle was our representative here on the Citadel. Like Udina, she wanted to get a human into the Spectres. She chose me. The Council sent Saren to keep an eye on me and evaluate my performance, just like they sent Nihilus to keep tabs on you.
Why would you hide this, Captain?
Why weren't you honest with me?
It's not something I'm proud of. I had a chance to become the first human Spectre, and I failed. Saren made sure of that.
What happened?
I think I deserve the whole story.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
I think we all know that that is not the way that mission ended up going.
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned.
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
Was anyone hurt?
How many casualties?
The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians. Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated, mission accomplished, and I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
You got blamed.
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
It wasn't your fault, though.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
So if you hit this option, it's just going to kick you right back to the same little block of dialogue that he just spit out, so this doesn't matter.
The only thing I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and
I'll be here if you need anything.
have a look at the ship now. After the conversation with Udina and Anderson is when you are able to go and inspect this, and it gives you 3 additional little codex entries there. And let's hop on into the ship now and address the crew.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
This feels wrong.
Captain Anderson should be the one in charge. It's like I'm stealing the ship from him.
Yeah, the captain got screwed, but it's not like you could have stopped it. Nobody's blaming you. Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander, 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
I'll be honest with them.
This is Commander Shepard speaking.
We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit.
I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy. For too long, our species has stood apart from the others. Now it's time for us to step up and do our part for the rest of the galaxy. Time to show them what humans are made of.
Saren will be ready for us.
Our enemy knows we're coming. When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too.
Everyone's counting on us.
Humanity needs to do this. Not just for our own sake, but for the sake of every other species in Citadel space. Saren must be stopped. And I promise you all, we will stop him.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
I won't let him down.
The captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, sir.
Alright, and then you have another little codex interaction you can get right there. You can talk to Presley, but he is not going to give you anything. Actually, hold on a sec. I forgot. This time you can. If you just cheat up there, then you can get the codex entry without actually going into the galaxy map.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
And you can kind of tell he's still a little hesitant about having non-humans on board of the ship there, like he was when he was talking about Nihilus before that opening mission.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, sir, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were one of the first reinforcements to arrive at Elysium after the Blitz hit. Those raiders were no match for an Alliance frigate. Of course, the only reason the colony was still standing was because of you, Commander. I can't believe you held out as long as you did.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Alright, and that's gonna be
Carry
it
on, Presley.
for
Yes, sir.
Presley. Got us a little Paragon there. And so, for right now, you don't really want to talk to Caden. He's not going to have anything to say until after you complete one of the main missions. We will, however, come over here and grab a few more of these codexes. And yes, I did notice that we got the level up when we went to the navigation station, but I'm gonna wait until we go on our next mission to put our points in. That way we can just do our entire squad all at one time. So Ashley, same thing as Caden, she will not really have any dialogue. Garrus, you can talk to a little bit and get a little more insight into him and why he wanted to leave CSEC, but it's not going to give you a codex or anything. But Rex here will give you some updates, and Rex is always such a gem to talk to.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Come on, Rex.
You Krogan live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
That sounds unfortunate.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
Isn't it?
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
I think I see your point, Rex.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Touchy subject?
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
So then you can, that was the genophage branch of it, you can go on to the extinction one now and get additional codex and backstory for Rex.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So?
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
I see.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
And so there's our codex points. And so I am gonna go ahead and talk to Adams and Tally.
You know that Quarian Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
Is she bothering you?
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
She's useful.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
And so then we're gonna go ahead and ask him about the stealth systems on the Normandy and some of these other things. I am gonna start skipping a little bit of this dialogue though so we can keep the let's play moving.
Fill me in on the IES stealth.
You can't hide a ship out in space, so our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built in. Eventually the sinks have to be vented, more than a few hours.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan. Most vessels rely on scanner. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Where else have you served, Adam?
You name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a
Carry on.
Aye, aye, Commander.
And so the reason I'm doing that is just because we want to get these codexes, but it is a lot
Your
of
ship's
dialogue to
amazing,
get
Shepard.
through.
I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were... I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this...
I had no idea you found...
But we don't have anything like this. Some of the fleet's larger vessels...
I can't believe...
But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain...
Tell me about your
Our
people.
lives aren't easy. Unfortunately...
What kind of...
Fortunately... It's a safeguard that served us well. In
So
nearly
basically
3
what she
centuries,
is
the
going
Admiralty
to...
Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Basically what Tally's going to be telling you about is just the Admiralty Board, which we'll get a little bit of exposure and such to in the later games, and a little bit more exposure to the Quarian Society. As far as the Geth goes, she's just going to kind of tell you about what the Quarians actually created the Geth by experimenting with AI technology, and that they thought they could control them, but they couldn't, because once they started banding together, their connection and their computing power was too much for the Quarians to control. And then the pilgrimage is what Tally already told us about when she was picked up by us trying to have that meeting with the Shadow Broker's men and almost got shot. And it's just telling you that typically, you know, when you return from your pilgrimage, it is to show that you're willing to give up part of yourself in service to, you know, society and your culture. And that's a big thing with the Quarians, since, you know, they're basically living on ships 24/7.
I want to know more.
This is presented as a gift.
Can a captain?
It's not. It's not. See you later.
But alright. Now that we got that stuff taken care of, we're gonna go on and get to what the real, you know, part of the game is, which is going out here exploring uncharted planets and recruiting the rest of our team and just building up each of our characters. So I usually like to start by going to Therum and recruiting our last squad mate, which is over here, and you will notice that it will show you if it is a main quest or like a particularly large piece of side content like Asteroid X57, then it will give you these indicators here on what section to go to. There are mods that you can install that will go and give you an indicator for each quest, but I don't really use mods that much, so I just do it the old-fashioned way. So in each section, this is basically how exploration works. In the first Mass Effect game, it kind of changes with each one, but you can just go around and click on the planets, and if there's something there, whether it's a resource or another part of a fetch quest, like these Turian insignias, then you just hit survey and it will give it to you. So for this one, we need to go here and then to this planet, Circe. And then we have one more. And then you can always check these asteroid fields. Sometimes there will be stuff, other times there will not be. But on to the next one. Normally there is a planet that you can land on in each one of the systems. However, usually if it's a system pertaining to the main quest, sometimes there will not be as much exploration there in that particular set of systems. But in the meantime, you can just go ahead and, if you want, do this, or you can just save it until the end of the game if you want. It really does not do too much. So we're not gonna land on that one just yet. And there's the asteroid. And so we'll go back and land on all of the planets. Probably afterwards is just a separate episode, because right now I just want to hit the stuff that we can easily get to. This is not going to take up too much time for us.
Commander, I'm picking up a...
So you will have a lot of interactions like that where you'll go to land on a system and they will go, have a transmission. Usually it'll be either from a distress beacon like that, or it will be for Admiral Hackett, which you do not get to meet Admiral Hackett until the second game. You only hear his voice until then. Ooh. I don't know what happened there. So Therum is the planet where our next squad mate is going to be recruitable at. And so you can just hit escape, because if you're going to be able to land or survey, it's going to instantly have those two blue blocks there. So for this one, we are going to take Garrus and Rex with us. Alright.
Commander, I'm picking up some strange readings. Really strange, like off the damn charts. It looks like it's coming from an underground complex a few clicks away from the drop zone.
So this is the Mako, so whenever you land on a planet, this is what you're going to be driving around in. The left mouse does the minigun, the right mouse shoots the main cannon. And then you can press space to jump and hold shift for that little speed boost. And so we have a Geth dropship coming in hot. You can press control to zoom in, so that way you can see further away, so that way you're not just having to eyeball it. You have to be careful how you time your jumps there to avoid those blasts there, because sometimes, like there, if you jump too late, you'll get hit. Or if you jump too early, when you come back down, it will not have gone underneath you. So your best bet, if you're not already shooting at them, is to just try to learn the timings. On the lower difficulties, it really doesn't hurt you too much. So the only time you really got to worry about being a little bit better at it is on the higher difficulties here. And so you see you can kind of cheat back and forth and in and out of range for the rockets here.
Only a fool punches a Nathak in the mouth. We should sneak around and pull its tail.
And so you can see there, if you go and jump high, you can go and confuse the targeting on it a little bit. Now see, when you're right here, it can be, if you're too far up there, then sometimes it won't let you jump up. Alright, just keep on moving on up here. We'll go ahead and drive on through. As you can see, we got another level up there. Press Q to get out. Then you gotta go in here if you want to get the extra little container that's right here. And again, Really want to be careful around these rocket troopers, especially on the higher difficulties, because they will deal a lot of damage. And so there we got some more armor for Rex that we can go take a look at. So you can see all of those there, all those upgrades that we're getting. I'll just put any personnel rounds on there for right now. Then you can see here the damage protection is a little bit better, but your shields aren't as high. So we're just going to leave that for right now. I'm going to go ahead and level us up in squad here. So we're going to go ahead and get Unity. So that way if anybody ever goes down while we're in combat, we can go ahead and bring them on back up. And then here, if you want, you can go ahead and put those 3 points into motivated buyer to get you the better sale prices. It's not gonna all of a sudden make you not be a Paragon or anything like that. Or you can go ahead and start leveling up some of your more combat based abilities. It is entirely up to you. I'm gonna go ahead and put 1 point into charm though, and then start pumping points into our tactical armor here, so that way we can handle a little bit more damage. Gonna go ahead and get Garrus to advanced overload, and then just continue to pump his points as well, so that now he can do medium armor. And with Rex, we're gonna max his combat armor out, and then we are additionally going to go ahead and put 1 point into overkill and the other 3 into fitness, so he can be working towards that advanced immunity. Go ahead and get on back to our trusty little Mako over here. Now for this building, so you notice there was 2 on each side, right? So that one is the only one that has anything on this side. That one is empty. This one has one of the containers in it as well as an enemy. So if you just look for the enemy on your minimap, that will tell you which you need to go for. And there we go. Then you just come on over here, tap them gate controls, and we are on to the next part of the mission. And so then something you can do here is you can see enemies from way further away, and you can just kind of cheese it over here. You can even see where that enemy's at all the way over there and just shoot them over here, where you have just so much more time to dodge their shots. Like, look at how much time we have to dodge that. So highly recommend that if you are still kind of getting your bearings on how to shoot and how to drive the Mako. Honestly, if you're playing on console as opposed to PC like I am, then it really is a lot easier with the joystick and mouse for at least driving the Mako. So here you can go and hide behind that little hill, or you can just drive on up there, which is what I'm gonna do. So you just want to be paying attention. So you see how we can see him. So you can just hit his head right there. But the main goal of stopping at that angle was to just only have one of them shooting at us, because obviously when we zoom in, it is a lot harder for us to see everything that's going on. So, was trying to dodge the bullet there, and ended up getting hit by that shock blast. Oof. So, as you will notice, that is a Colossus as opposed to the Geth Armature, which was what we were fighting the other times there. The Colossus is much stronger and takes much more damage than the Armature does. So you see that we got somebody coming up here in this tunnel. So what you can do to give yourself more time to react is stay on this right side. And then if you want, swing it wide as you go through your turns. And then you see he's hiding right there. So, then the next thing, and the whole point of us doing all this driving, is to get to the dig site, right? And you have kind of a similar part of the mission for the mission on Novaria as well when we get to that one. And so you know, you can go run into your enemies with the Mako and it will deal damage to them. However, it is not a guaranteed kill. So see, that's how you can dodge a little bit by going forward, but by that little transition of arrows there, that does tell you that we are near where we need to be. So we're in a little bit more open area. Gonna go ahead and swap over to the sniper rifle, and let's get on in here. So you can already hear the Geth shooting at us, even though we can't quite see them. So you notice that there's that little animation giveaway where the Geth will reach up and touch their rifle just before they're going to go and shoot those rockets for the rocket troopers. So that is a good way to know that you should be getting behind cover, so that way you don't take that hit. So you see how he has his hand there on that rifle? You want to ensure that you are behind cover when that is happening, unless you have a sabotage ready like that, because it will make them not shoot. Now right here, we saw that red bar, so we were like, hey, we know there's a sniper coming. And so then you can just follow that beam right back to their position. And so you don't have to stay back here like this, but personally I just enjoy the sniping aspect so much of being the infiltrator. So see, we timed that just about perfect. If we hadn't moved that last second, then that rocket would have hit us. And so as you can see there, we lost our shields. We do regenerate health very slowly, but our shields regenerate faster. And so then you can snap right there in and out of your scope to get that quicker lock on there. Or for example, right here, so if you wanted to have more time, if someone was moving behind cover, you could just hold shift, so that way you could quickly get your cursor over for when you come out of the shift. And so let's go ahead and get our equipment here. So we got these chemical rounds. So So we're going to put those in our pistol as well. And let's just get on into this. So those are the stalkers and sappers, probably one of the more annoying enemy types, because they are just going to constantly jump around and shoot their abilities at you. So the best way to deal with them is to just tap them with a double overload or an overload sabotage, whichever you happen to have available to you. A lot of times, as you can see there with Rex, one of your companions will kind of get glitched and will not get out from the middle there and will just immediately go down. And that is why we went ahead and took Unity. And so as you can see, they can even be jumping around all the way behind you. So you can just stay right here behind this cover, but notice that they will just continue to jump behind you on the higher difficulties specifically. So we have an enemy over here to our right that we are going to go ahead and take out here. And so as you can see, one of them just hit us with sabotage. So we are going to go ahead and swap to another weapon, as well as you just saw that Garrus went down. So we are going to use Unity to bring both of our teammates back. So we got another level up there. So as you can see, they will start jumping more and more the lower health that they get. And first death of the series. So let's look at where the last save was. It's probably going to be at the beginning of this mission. Oh, nope. Lucky us. Okay. So see, this time they swapped. It was Garrus that actually got bugged. Go ahead and swap to our pistol here, since we have these enemies right here. Ooh. And so this can be a very difficult fight if you are not able to position effectively. I'm going to go ahead and use Metagel so that Rex can get healed, and we're going to go ahead and bring back our homie Garrus. As you can see, Rex is about to go down again already, so you've really got to watch them. So we're really trying to prioritize taking the stalkers out here, so that way we can actually start seeing on our minimap again, because that will be very helpful for us. And there we go. So now we can see everybody again. You can see our Unity is almost back off of cooldown. So when that happens, we'll go ahead and bring everybody back again. Now in later games they did make it to where Unity cost a metagel as opposed to just being an ability that you could use. Because as you can see, it's kind of a little bit crazy that you can go and just be using Unity over and over again and it doesn't really cost you that much. So you use Unity and then you use your metagel like that, and then guess what? Everybody's back to full health. Now unfortunately Rex went and got shot immediately afterwards. So that is a wee bit unfortunate. Now you can choose to prioritize taking out these little enemies over here. And so then now you only have the armature left. Really the only difficult part is when you have those stalkers going around and you cannot really see if you have any enemies coming up on you, because otherwise you can just take your time and pick everybody off. And then as you can see, Garrus's abilities are bugging out a little bit. There we go, and now we can just step out and take on this one guy that's left over here. And then we have another enemy over this way. Alright. And now we are ready to go ahead and continue down into the dig site here. We do have another recoil dampener here, so we'll go ahead and put that on. We did not get any more armor, and we have another level up for everyone. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is keep on pumping points here into our armor, and then once we get our armor maxed out the rest of the way, then I will start putting points into Infiltrator and Spectre training. Because basically all we wanted Unity for was that fight that we had right there. Otherwise, it obviously would have been a lot harder than it already was. So we're going to go ahead and keep putting points into Rex's health so that he can just continue to be a tank. For Garrus, again, continuing to level up his overload. And let's get on into this dig site. So you see how our radar started jamming? That tells you that there's somebody down there. Either a sniper or one of the sappers. So there is your sniper right there. And now we can go ahead and take out our other enemy. And there we go. Got back some of that meta-gel there. Oh, whenever you have this green, that means that you have been poisoned by usually an explosion. So you can go ahead and
Patch
get
you up. I've never visited a
meta-gel
Prothean,
like that.
aside from the Citadel, I mean.
And that'll take care of you. Usually throughout the missions, you will get meta-gel from either defeating enemies, or you can get it also from it being on the ground in medkits. And or medical stations in the later games. But... so right here. So you really, for the drones, want to just use your abilities as much as possible, because obviously it's a lot easier to use those area of effect abilities than it is to be over here trying to shoot them if they're moving around and flying and such.
Sterile light. Protheans sure build things home.
Alrighty.
Hello? Could somebody help me? Please?
And once we get through this conversation, we will be at the end of the
Can you hear me out there? I'm trapped. I need help.
We hear you.
Are you okay? What happened to you?
Listen, this thing I'm in is a Prothean security device. I cannot move, so I need you to get me out of it, all right?
We'll find a way to free you.
We just need to figure some way past this energy field.
It's a Prothean barrier curtain. I knew it would keep me safe from the Geth. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please.
Stay calm.
We'll find some way to help you.
There is a control in here that should deactivate this thing. You'll have to find some way past the barrier curtain. That's the tricky part. The defenses cannot be shut off from the outside. I don't know how you'll get in here. Be careful. There is a Krogan with the Geth. They have been trying different ways to get past the barrier.
Alright, so like I said, we are going to go ahead and wrap this episode on up. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.